Hello, welcome to Subjective Insights. I'm mega lurgified today. Like, literally, up all night last night coughing, horrible earache. But my voice sounds all kind of soulfully gravelly, doesn't it? I sound like a kind of Coleman. No, not Coleman, he's a bodybuilder. One of those, blues singers. Got a kind of cool, husky voice. Yeah, so talk about talk about depression and like downturns and that. I think nature life, right, it proceeds like a kind of sine wave, up and down, up and down. And what as humans do, we have a tendency to kind of zero in on the short term time scale, like around the present that we're in. So when we're in a slump, we've got a tendency to over exaggerate it, to make it like something a lot worse than it is. So like when you're feeling apathetic and depressed, the tendency is to think, oh no, there's something wrong with me, and then this belief becomes a self-perpetuating kind of thing that reinforces the underlying apathetic kind of experience. Because you're in a sense you're making yourself a dead duck. You're saying, oh, there's something wrong with me. And then, in order for that belief to be true, and you want it to be true because it's your belief, and us humans are quite stupid in this way, we would rather be right than right, if you know what I mean. Right than right. And most people aren't concerned about the truth at all. They're concerned about being right. So I've got a mate called Dave, right? And he goes through these cycles. And when he's on the downturn, he'll smoke a lot of weed. Like every day, he'll smoke a lot of weed. And then after a while, he just gets sick of it. And then he just stops. And then then he goes back on the app. But like everybody around him, they would be saying, "Oh, you got a problem, and you got this, and you got that," and they don't know what they're doing. But unintentionally, what they're doing is they're trying to project onto David this kind of idea that he's fucked, and explicitly they seem to be trying to stop it, but implicitly the system, if David were to believe what they were saying, he would find more trouble than he does in just stopping it. I mean, he'll spend months and months and months not even touching the stuff, and then he'll have a gap of a couple of weeks where he'll do it excessively, and then he'll just go back into the other stage. And so that's what nature does, It's in the seasons as well. You have the period of springtime in which everything is fecund and it grows, the leaves sprout forth and the buds come out. And then springtime, where it's like gloriously vibrant and blooming. And then you've got the autumn where it appears to be dying, and the winter where it looks dead. And funnily enough, during the winter time, when the trees look dead, that they're leafless, that's when they put on the girth. That's when they put on the lasting kind of growth. Whereas during the springtime, yeah, they're putting forward leaves and all that kind of stuff, and they're gathering energy. They're hoarding all this energy, and then during the winters, when they use that energy to expand their trunk, and which supports more growth in the future. It's to the outside, it looks dead, but to the inside, that's when the real growth is happening. The same as in our lives, like throughout my life, when I've had tragedy occur, when I've experienced the deepest, most profound suffering I have, from the other side of that now, I see that's been what's grown me. That's what's brought me to a place where I'm quite independent, where I can think for myself. When I go into any situation, like having experienced social anxiety most of my life, being embarrassed and feeling that I'm being looked at and worried about what other people think, what that's produced in me then is it's made me analyse society. And so now I believe that in any kind of social situation I go into, I understand it, Like say if you're at work, you've got to do certain things, otherwise you don't get paid and you get fired, But the kind of social anxiety thing, it pushed me towards that kind of, bare bones analysis and more empirical analysis through having this kind of vague, kind of ominous kind of interpretation of what the social anxiety is before. No, that's like people are worried about saying certain things and being themselves because that they're fearful of this unknown thing. They haven't quite said it to themselves. They haven't quite looked at it because they find it's painful. But my habit was there's this painful thing in my life. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to study it. I'm going to see what it is. And then what that's generated is now I just ride the downturn. So when I'm feeling depressed and apathetic and I don't feel like doing anything, well, I just don't do anything. I just let my body have its way. There's still the basic kind of ground level of what has to be done, going to work and stuff like that. And so now, for the last 2 years, the cycles have happened. Downturns have just become a lot less worse. And during the downturns, I'm able to take care of the necessaries. Whereas before, years and years ago, that was an issue. I couldn't. There's been a growth that's occurred. So my advice to anybody that suffers with these kind of things is just ride it. Just ride it. Do what you got to do. And when you don't have to do anything, do nothing if that's what you want to do. You're already working. You're already earning money. You're already spending so much time doing what you don't want to do so that you can get money to do what you want to do. Why whip yourself more when you're at home when you don't have to do anything? Why not let that time be your healing time, where you just say to your body, yeah, you know best. You know better than I do. You're telling me to rest and do nothing now. I'll rest and do nothing. Goodbye.